Welcome. My name's Casey Metzlars, and if you are a parent, caregiver, or educator working with young children, this video is meant to help you utilize the tools of mindfulness and yoga with your kiddos. So we have to begin with ourselves. It's very important. Just like when we're flying and the flight attendant reminds us that if the oxygen masks drop down, we're supposed to put our own mask on first. The same is true of taking care of ourselves. So we know we can't help anyone else if we are run down, exhausted, stressed, tired, fearful, angry, in pain, etc. Hungry, right? So we need to be taking care of our own body and mind in order to pass these lessons on to the kids. So before anything else, please use the tools in this video for you. Get really comfortable with the exercises and the little games. Get to the place where you don't have to look at notes or a lesson plan, where you just can walk into the space and share these tools with the kids. Most of these practices stand alone. So yes, you can put them together in the sequence in a full 15-minute class with your students or your children. You can even share this video with them, but ideally, this is for you, the caregiver, to connect with these practices and these tools and embody them in yourself. And then you can adapt and tweak them to fit the needs of the kids that you take care of. And I can't be there and see the kids with you. So it's very important as the caregiver that you really take these ideas and run with them. And that can only happen if you are practicing. So I think I've stressed it enough, but I'm going to emphasize it one more time. Please take care of you. Use these tools for you. Find one or two practices in this video that really helps you connect to your core self, that helps you find center, that helps you calm down, that helps you focus, that helps you build energy, and make that a part of your daily routine. Make it a part of your lifestyle. And that is the way to share it with children, by modeling, by existing in that state of presence and awareness. That is mindfulness, that is yoga. Yoga means connection. So we must connect with the practice. We must connect with ourselves, with our own breath, with our own bodies and minds. And then we can offer these tools to the kids. We define mindfulness as paying full attention to what is happening right now. Mindfulness is slowing down and taking your time. Mindfulness is noticing the little things. And mindfulness is kindness and gentleness. When we're being mindful, we slow down and we take good care of ourselves and our surroundings. So hopefully that is a definition you can lean into and share with children. Simple, straightforward. Be here, be now. So let's get into the practice. You're going to need a yoga mat or towel or something to be on the floor on. You can also do some of these exercises from a chair. Let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start out standing, and we're just going to start with a light shake. Now you can tell your kids to just bounce and make sure that you remind them that this is a stationary activity. That's why it's nice to give them a small square of yoga mat. You can buy a yoga mat and cut it in half, and then you have 2 yoga mats and they're small, but just something to keep them from running all over the room, right? We want to set boundaries and expectations early. But you just go ahead and bounce where you are, and staying on the mat, we're going to turn this little light shake into an earthquake. So starting to shake a little harder and a little faster. This exercise is really great for getting the wiggles out. And if you've been stagnant, it's good for adults too, to start to move energy. So we're just going to keep shaking, and whoa, the earth is really starting to quake, and we're going to shake all over the place. And then the shaking stops. And as the shaking stops, we might close our eyes. And we might take a deep breath in And a slow breath out. The earthquake is over. And now we might need to start to focus our energy and our attention more. So this is a playful activity called 1, 2, 3, clap. So on 3, after 3, we're going to clap our hands together, but we're going to start with our arms really wide. And this is a nice opportunity to stretch. So have your kiddos stretch really wide, like they're going to give a big bear hug. And you hold your arms out there, take a breath in, and count with me. 1, 2, 3, clap. And then rub the hands together. Put some energy in the hands. Make that energy nice and warm. And then take that energy and we're going to put it in the belly. Take a big breath into the belly and let it go. And let's do one more clap. 1, stretch. 2, stretch even more. 3, clap. And this time a little faster. Make some energy with your hands and bring it into your heart. And grown-ups, hold that warm energy in there for a little bit. Encourage a deep breath here. And exhale, encourage some release. Soften through the mouth. Good. And now we're ready for our next exercise. So come down to seated. Sitting with your back really straight. Pulling the ribs up out of the belly, shimmy your hips down into the mat, or if you're sitting in a chair, that's fine as well. This practice is just called listen, and it's good to begin with a visualization of big elephant ears. So you can draw an elephant up on a chalkboard or a whiteboard for the students, or pass around an elephant toy, or simply ask the kids to describe an elephant or act out an elephant. Again, we want yoga and mindfulness practices to be taught playfully in a relaxed way. And again, that authentic, adapted to the needs of your students, your kiddos kind of way. So don't be rigid at all. And if you're practicing alone, trying to get comfortable with these exercises, take your time and you yourself sit and visualize a big, friendly, charming elephant, and imagine you have ears as big as an elephant's. And imagine as you close your eyes, and again, just keeping your posture comfortable, stable, alert. Start to close your eyes and feel those big elephant ears. And begin to notice all the sounds around you, starting with the sounds closest to you and expanding to the sounds outside the room. Maybe you can hear birds singing outside or voices from a different room. There's no wrong way to do this practice. Just listen. And to carry the elephant theme further, you can imagine making an elephant trunk with your arms, or bringing the arms together. Pretend this is your long elephant trunk and take a big elephant breath when you finish listening. So we'll inhale, scoop our elephant trunk forward, bring it up on the inhale, and exhale like you're blowing energy out your elephant trunk. You can even invite sounds. Play with it. Make it your own. Walk around and swing your trunk or flap your ears, adding more movement. And then return, of course, to your breath. All right, so coming back to standing up, just take your time getting there. We're going to move into some balance poses. So one of the best beginner's yoga poses, and really it's not just a beginner's pose, it's an advanced pose as well. It's the base pose for standing poses. It's mountain pose. So with mountain, again, you can always show visuals with students, with children. Show them a picture of a really beautiful mountain. I used to live near mountains in the Pacific Northwest, and so you could talk about your story, mountains you've explored, favorite mountains in your life with the kids. But as you get into mountain pose, it's best to imagine your back up against a wall. So you start to lean back a little. We're lifting the ribs again, and we're sitting up a little straighter. Place emphasis on both feet and start to move your feet around, feeling for your steady base. These instructions I'm giving are better for you, the adult. For kids, generally I just say, make your feet really heavy. And sometimes I'll even walk around the room and try to pick them up or knock them over and teach them to engage the muscles in their belly and legs and to think down. That's another thing you can tell them is think down. But as you are standing here now with me, begin to, while you're thinking down, also start to draw up through the body, lengthen the body. Take a few breaths here, turn the palms forward, shoulders back, and if it helps, close the eyes to focus inward. Begin to take long, steady inhalations and exhalations, making the duration of each breath about the same. If you can get into a rhythm here, 5-second inhale, 3-second pause, 5-second exhale. That's a great starter breathing pattern. And once you've established steadiness in your mountain pose, that's when we'll begin to move into balance. So you can bring your hands to your heart or to your hips. Start to feel which one gives you a better center of gravity. Shift into one leg and turn the knee of the other leg as you bring your foot up into your calf muscle. Kids are great at this. And you do want to try to encourage them to open the knee, but their knees are going to be all over the place. They're going to be wobbling. Tell them not to hop around. Try to stay steady because trees have roots. And as you come into tree pose, you can extend your branches. So now we can again use the imagination here. Every tree, you can talk about how every tree in nature looks a little bit different. Each child is different and unique, just like each tree. And get them to hold the balance for a few seconds. Maybe say, hold your tree pose for 3 big breaths. And again, I encourage you to spend some time exploring tree pose for yourself before you try to teach it. You will find inspiration in just doing the pose. Let's switch sides. Reset in mountain. It's always helpful to reset the hips and spine. Find that center of gravity before we shift onto the other side. So you might even take a quick arm raise, growing tall here, maybe growing up onto the toes, and take the kids through that with you as well so that they are successful when they switch sides. So after we feel a little bit more grounded, we just switch legs, turning the knee and bringing the foot into the calf. So you can also bring your foot higher into the inner thigh, and it's best not to rush that. If it's not working for you, you're fine staying lower to the ground. You can even, this is another option, keep your toes touching to support your tree pose. Sometimes when we're teaching others, it's harder to focus on the balance, so the toe drop might be best when you are sharing it with your students or children. So again, thinking about how trees grow their branches up towards the sunlight. We can talk about how plants grow. We can talk about our favorite trees. We can talk about fruits of the tree. If it's winter time, we can talk about how there's no leaves on the trees. If it's fall, the colors of the leaves. So much richness with just this one simple pose. All seasons, all year long. As we exit, we want to do so steadily and come back to mountain pose. Simple is best. Do the practice for 5 minutes on your own each day, a week before you teach it, so that you feel really steady and strong in sharing it with the little ones. Let's get ready for our next practice. It's a meditation, so we'll be sitting down again. Feel free to sit in a chair if that's more comfortable for you. So as you sit down, again, remind your body to sit tall. Remind the kids to take a breath and get settled. Again, working on getting wiggles out. This is a meditation practice, and you can tell your kids you're going to chant. You can tell them we're going to make some sounds. It's up to you how you present it. The practice is called Satanama meditation. So we'll be chanting these 4 sounds. They're known as bij mantras or seed mantras because each one is like a tiny seed. It looks small, it seems insignificant and tiny, but really it is full of potential and possibility. If you begin to practice this meditation on your own for any length of time where you're being steady, daily practice with it or weekly practice with it, you'll start to see it blossoming in you. And it's a great one for helping us feel more centered and calm and getting in touch with our essence. For kids, I just say things like, we're going to find our calm. We're going to feel more relaxed doing this meditation. So it's a very simple practice. We're saying the 4 sounds, sa, ta, na, ma. And each time we make a sound, we're going to touch a different finger. On sa, we'll touch our thumb and pointer finger. On ta, we'll touch our thumb and middle finger. Na, ring finger. Ma, pinky. So it looks like this. Sa, ta, na, ma. You hold your hands in your lap with the palms up. You keep the spine straight, and you might tuck your chin. Close the eyes. Take a long breath in and a slow breath out. And begin. Sa, ta, na, ma. 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 Now we can switch to a whisper. Try whispering, keeping the breath steady, finding room for the breath as you practice. Sa, ta, na, ma. 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 Big breath in, slow breath out. Finally, you can practice silently chanting, just touching the thumb and finger with each sound mentally. Try that 3 times on your own. as you finish the practice, you can bring your hands to Heart Center and talk about how you feel with your kids. I recommend trying it on your own often before sharing with the kids. Remember, always put your own mask on first. Do these exercises for you and then model it for the young children that you serve. Finally, we're going to move back down to our mat or lying down for a guided relaxation and a way to bring the whole practice together today. So if you've ever taken a yoga class before, you know that most classes end with a posture called Shavasana, a final relaxation where everybody lays down, and it's meant to help us release any remaining tension in the body. It's also meant to help us absorb the benefits of the practice. In our overstimulated world, this kind of deep relaxation is good for children, adults, all of us. We need to spend time getting adequate rest and allowing our autonomic nervous system and all of our body's our organs to do their job well. And rest is what is needed for that to happen. So one way to guide students, little kids, into this is to encourage them to lay down. Imagine they're laying down on a fluffy cloud. You can do any kind of fun visualization here that you like, but you just want to lay down on your mat or towel, some way that's comfortable for you. So usually we have our legs out at the corners, our feet relaxed out, and I spend a little time wiggle jiggling into place. So tell your kids they can do that as well. You can lift the heart, spread the shoulders, bring them back down. Take some time just spreading out on the mat and closing the eyes. So now we're just going to put our hands on our belly, and we're going to modify a practice called 3-part breath to make it more suitable for children. For starters, you need to get comfortable with the technique yourself. So placing our hands on the belly, we begin with part 1 of the 3-part breath, inhaling into the abdomen. Feel it expand on the in-breath. And as you exhale, draw your belly button into the spine and gently squeeze the breath out, an active exhale. So that's part 1. Let's bring our hands up to the ribs and do the same thing here, expanding the ribs out on the inhalation and squeezing them gently on the exhalation. So that's part 2. Place your hands up near your sternum and breathe into the upper chest. Gently contract the muscles in the upper chest. So we're emptying the upper part of the lungs. Place the hands anywhere comfortable now, and let's put the 3 parts together, starting at the belly. Inhaling fully into the abdomen, up into the ribs, and up into the sternum. Exhale from the sternum, gently from the ribs, and from the belly. Again, inhale like a wave, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, chest, rib cage, belly. Give it a squeeze. So one way to make this accessible for younger children, most kids love balloons, so have them imagine there's a balloon in their belly, inside their body. You can talk about what color that balloon is. You can have them, they can tell stories here. Again, don't be too rigid. Let them enjoy it. Find a playful way to call their energy into the practice. Invite them to be still. And as we inhale, we're expanding the balloon. The balloon gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And we hold on to that balloon. And as we exhale, we feel the balloon get smaller. And here you can start to play with making sounds as the breath leaves the body. Talk about the way a balloon might hiss or whistle. Just encouraging them to spend a little more time and awareness on the exhale. Because what we're really trying to build is that awareness of the breathing mechanism. So after a few rounds of playing with the balloon breaths,
Everybody is welcome to stretch before we get up. Stretching long, bringing the knees in, make your body a tiny egg. And then doing a few egg rolls, rocking forward and back in that. Popping up to seated and coming back to the group. If you're alone and practicing on your own, this is a great time for gratitude, for further meditation. So just remember that you need to put your mask on first. Kids can always tell when adults are being phony. So choose even just one practice from this video to make your own, to make part of your daily routine for a while, and then share it. Over time, you can share a whole class like we did here today, but it's more important that you share small pieces of your mindfulness practice, what you have found success with, and that is how we plant the seeds in young children. We share. We let them fruit from us, and we drop those seeds. So keep practicing. Remember that mindfulness only takes a few moments and can be done anytime, anywhere. It's just pausing to notice, slowing down, and being gentle with yourself. Release the judgment, release expectations, and simply be present. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, and may your days be happy, healthy, and full of love. Thank you.